Warning. This podcast may contain spoilers from whatever TV show or movie is mentioned. Please listen at your own discretion. Welcome to Viewers Anonymous.
Yo, what's going on? I am Scoots Bronson.
And I am S. Foster.
That's right, and you tuned into another episode of the Viewers Anonymous podcast, where we give you our very own reviews and takes of movies and TV straight out of Hollywood. What's going on with you, bro?
Man, can't call it, man. Just excited to be back in the lab today, man. Cause honestly, as much as I do for people who don't know, I do love the lab. Okay. So the last two episodes was great fun, but like movies like this, yeah, but this is right up my alley, man. So I'm definitely excited to be back in the lab today, though, man. But how you feeling though? How everything with you?
Man, I'm feeling good. Feeling great. I cannot complain, man. I'm just happy because today was a cool day. It rained, but it wasn't too bad. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't in the 80s, so I wasn't burning up. You know what I mean? And I'm excited too, man, because this week my kids went back to school. You know what I'm saying? So the last 2 days I've been taking them to school. And it feels good because I don't usually get a chance to do that due to my past jobs. But now, I'm out here working for myself. I can, what I'm saying, get up and take them to school and do all that shit, man. So, what I'm saying, I'm having a good dad moment in the mornings. But yeah,
So,
everything great.
man, great feeling, man. It is a great feeling. Like that's the one thing that I'm the proudest of the most, man. Is really just being a dad, man. Like I was able to, I was telling you about it. I had my youngest son on the pod, my last pod on the 28 minutes or less,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just during the time. I'm like, okay, man, this is cool, man. This is a great moment. But listening back to it, and I was just like, just so surprised with like how he was able to, even though that mic got hot, he was able to, what I'm saying, hold his composure and just come out with some great, smart answers, man. Like some of the
Yeah.
stuff I was really I was really impressed, man. And my kids always impress me, but just to be in this field, for 6 years and for somebody who's never been a guest on a podcast to be able to hold it down the way he held it down, man. It was a
Mm-hmm.
proud father moment. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
So I just want to shout out to, I mean, both my kids, man. Shout out to Tay and Jacoby, but you know what I'm saying. But for Jacoby to get on the pod and hold it down the way he did, man. It was a proud father moment, man. A proud, what I'm saying, podcast father moment.
Absolutely, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have those moments, man. You know, it just man, it make you happy to see them do, what I'm saying, the stuff that they like to do and love to do, man. My boys and my daughter, man, they getting busy. Like my daughter, she just switched over to a career academy and she doing robotics. And
Oh,
then
that's what's up.
my oldest son, this is first year in high school. He's a freshman and he excited because he got Spanish. You know what I'm saying? And then my youngest son, he don't really like school, but you know what I'm saying. He got up today and he got dressed. He was up on time, so you know what I'm saying. I'm starting to see him grow into, what I'm saying, being a little man now, bro. So I just be excited about, what I'm saying, all the little shit that they do, man. It just be funny seeing them grow up and do their thing.
Hmm. Same
So
here, man.
oh yeah, for sure, bro. Okay, man. So okay, y'all, listen. I want to apologize to y'all right now because I'm kind of down in the dumps because I watched the first Stir Echoes and I was like, man, this really is, what I'm saying, a good movie. I forgot how good the movie is. And because as it popped up on recommendation, I watched the second one too. And I'm in depression right now because it was such a horrible movie. So yeah, I gotta work with me. I'm trying to work my energy back up, man. But today, man, we covering the first one. We're not covering the second one. I don't think we will ever touch that movie. But Fuck Rob Lowe, man. Uh,
Oh man,
uh,
it's it's so funny because we had a conversation beforehand, so it's just
yeah,
funny.
man. We hopefully, I don't know, maybe one day we'll get into why I don't fuck with Rob Lowe. That's actually a funny ass story. But we doing Stir Echoes, man, starring Kevin Bacon, Kevin Dunn, Captain Herb, and Ileana Douglas, and Zachary David Cope. Um, this movie is basically about a guy who is, just an average ordinary dude, what I'm saying, living, trying to take care of his family. And his sister-in-law uh hypnotizes him and opens his mind to the other side of the spirits. And now he is pretty much tasked to help a spirit get free who unfortunately is trapped in his house. And yeah, I think that's a pretty good synopsis of it all. Going back, what I'm saying, what's your reaction? How did you feel about watching it, what I'm saying, with today's eyes?
Okay, I'm gonna answer your question, but for the loyal, faithful listeners of this podcast,
Mhm.
um, who obviously listens a lot, know how we've been talking about the year 1999.
Mhm.
We did a whole podcast, movies of 1999.
Yeah.
We both, because even though we every time we always do separate lists, but I think this is something that we mutually agreed on that we
Yeah.
both believe that 1999 might have been like the best year of films.
Definitely the best movie I mean, the best year in Hollywood for sure.
So so we got a thing with 1999. I don't know how many we done from 1999, but we've done a few, and this is one of those ones, top notch. I just wanted to mention that. But like going back and watching this movie with today's eyes, it still holds up. It still, to me, can fall under that classic lane. I
Yeah.
think that when you add something like you know being hypnotized and opening your mind and what I'm saying,
Mhm.
all types of stuff like that, being one of the things that she said was to be more open minded at the
Right.
end of the whole time when she hypnotized them. And I've been thinking about this since I watched it and all day today, and I've been wanting to ask you this:
Mhm.
Did Jake auntie Lisa did she hypnotize that little boy?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? So you think that he was just born open minded, just
Well,
period?
you gotta remember he the kid in the movie, and so, like, I mean, you from the South, so you probably heard this way more than I have. But you know how they say, like, like babies can see like angels and ghosts and spirits and
Yeah.
all that. And kids, they say sometimes when kids are talking to imaginary friends, a lot of the times them be like spirits and shit. So like kids are, because they so open minded and because they so innocent and impressionable, um that they able to tap into some shit that we don't necessarily, what I'm saying, have access to anymore as we've, what I'm saying, become adults and, going through life experiences, so on and so forth. And so to me, I just felt like he was just, because he was the kid, like he was able to see, what I'm saying, that type of shit. And I think also because he had that connection, I think that's what made it easier um for Tom to also end up getting that connection while being hypnotized. Um, Due to the fact that, what I'm saying, his son kind of had that. So it had to be, what I'm saying, like that had to kind of come from somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
And so I feel like Tom, he probably got that maybe from Tom's, what I'm saying, side.
Well, Lisa did say there's only 8% of people who can go as deep under as Tom did.
Yeah.
Because I think what she was trying to say is that more than likely most people can be hypnotized, but they don't go as deep as Tom went. She was like, "That's he's in the 8th percentile." So I'm guessing, like you said, what you said makes a lot of sense because, especially in the South, because when you even in these movies, mostly in the horror field, where these kids are talking to imaginary friends and shit
Right.
like that, as grown-ups, we look at it like, oh well, you need to go out, you need to make real friends, and like we just we really just we never believe it because
Right.
we've been told, a lot of shit is fairy tales and the
Well, also,
whole.
I don't mean to cut you off, but also I think we tend to forget. Like at one point in time, we were, what I'm saying, kind of like that too.
I think we definitely seem to forget that,
Hmm.
and because I got a beef with Maggie, but we'll get there when we get there. But I want to throw the question back at you. Watching this movie with 1919, with 2023
Hmm.
mind, I'm saying eyes, mindset. What did you
Hmm.
think of going back and watching it?
Man, first and foremost, great premise, right? Um, to use the whole um hypnotizing method to, what I'm saying, and to then bring in the spiritual element, um what I'm saying, of thriller, and well, it ain't necessarily a horror, but it's more so like a thriller suspense. So like to bring in that element, what I'm saying, like the spiritual element into that, I think is genius. And the only other movie we really seen it work with that had super success is Get Out. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? But I think that is dope because, and of course Get Out was a totally different setup and story. But with this, I thought it was dope because you see the son doing his thing, talking to somebody and everything else, and you don't even like you think that he just being a kid at first, and you like, oh, this nigga got an imaginary friend. But then when it's Tom's turn, and what I'm saying, Tom is now introduced and he's hypnotized and he wakes up, and what I'm saying, you see that, oh, this, what I'm saying, like it's real. Like something is going on. He really seeing some shit and he really experiencing some shit. So like to watch it now, and to have kind of a better understanding of some, what I'm saying, of some stuff, having my own experiences, what I'm saying, going through life, what I'm saying, little stuff like that. I thought it was dope. Like this movie still holds up for sure. It still holds up today. Like if you shown this at a independent film festival now, I think that it may be even bigger than it was in 1999.
Well, I mean, I agree with you, and then also I just think that, I mean, 1999. I mean, it's tough. I mean, that
Yeah,
was a tough fucking year,
it really
but
was.
it definitely still holds up, man, because the premise of it is so dope. And then because like we hear all the stories of, we only access like 10% of our brain
Hmm.
and all of this type shit. And so when you start getting in that lane of, hypnotizing, or you get into that lane of voodoo and hoodoo and,
Hmm.
and all of these different things that includes the brain, it's always a fascinating thing for number one
Absolutely.
when you're speaking about the brain and possibly unlocking the brain. And
Yeah.
I love the way Neil explained it when Jake and Maggie was at the it was a funeral going on for a cop, and
Hmm.
so they was at the the cemetery. I couldn't think of it. They at the cemetery, and so like Jake and Neil do like this whole little wave thing together. So they go off to the side looking at this other grave, and Neil comes over and he's like, um, and she was like, "What? I don't supposed to be here or something?" He was like, "Nah, that's fine or whatever." And then he's like, "The boy, he got the eye or something like that."
Yeah.
And so he was like, he must have got it from his father. and then he tells her to tell his, the father to meet him or whatever. So she goes over there, and the way he explained it, he was like, basically, your husband is in a tunnel with a, with a flashlight, but the light is like flickering, like it's not a good light. And he was like, but with Jake, he was like Jake flashlight is good, like he can
Mhm.
see everything. And he kept explaining it, saying like for him, he's getting flashes,
Yeah,
but he don't know what any of the shit means. Like,
right.
and then he doesn't know when it's gonna come and all types of shit like that. And I love the way that
And it
he put
came
it.
at the possibly the worst time in the movie as well.
A little more elaborate on that.
My man was my man was getting it in. This is the first time I've ever seen a woman come on to her man. And, and he was getting it in. And all this nigga seen was horrible flashbacks of some of the most atrocious things you could ever see in flashbacks in the
Man,
midst of trying to keep it up.
man, listen, that scene pissed me off.
Absolutely.
Because, well, I mean, no, it pissed me off because it's like, yo, like that's the type of shit which I didn't experience that type of shit in my fucking marriage, but just for your wife to just wake up just at 2 o'clock in the motherfucking morning and just come over and just start, you know what I'm saying, grabbing your dick, like, yo, like, let's do this.
Come
Like,
on, man. Every man's
I'm like,
dream.
every man's dream. I'm like, I'm sitting here looking at this shit, like, this is some bullshit. Like, that's,
Absolutely.
you just don't know the feeling that comes over a man when you just sleep, like, whatever. Like, and then she just roll over and this some shit like that. Like, what? Like, I ain't even have to say nothing. I ain't have to
Exactly.
do nothing. Come
Ass.
on, man. Come
That
on,
that's
man.
a fire moment just ruined. You know what I'm saying? By just
Yeah, just flashes of fucking nails breaking and
man, hey,
goddamn.
every time I see that shit, nigga, I don't know what it is, man, but it's just like that's the
Yeah, like a nail breaking. Yeah, yeah,
most
that's
brutal
yeah,
shit I've seen, and we done seen all kind of shit in horror movies. Niggas getting their heads cut off, motherfuckers getting their brains blown out, motherfuckers getting arms chopped off, guts ripped out. All that shit is cool. But when her goddamn nail broke, I was like, oh, I curled up in the
it
fetal.
hurt.
I was like,
Yes,
God damn, that's a different feeling.
yes, that shit. I don't know why it looked like that's just unbearable pain.
Oh
I
my
don't I don't know what it is. Like breaking a nail like that.
yeah, man.
Yeah,
And they made it look so real. I was like,
that
ah.
yeah, it looks
Yeah,
super real.
yeah, I was cool on that shit. And I was like,
And
yeah,
so yeah, so like Neil is explaining to her like this is gonna become and she saw that Tom was getting obsessed with it because she had to talk, what I'm saying, with her sister. Like he's not going to work anymore. All he does, yo, why is the couch scene like the most funniest fucking shit in this movie? So so Tom, so this is after the whole sex scene. So he's
mhm.
just like, I'm just gonna go downstairs. And so he go downstairs, get something to drink. He sits on the couch. He leans up, grab the remote, sit back, look to the left, and boom, big girl just sitting there.
I'm
And
sitting there.
so, so he tries to duplicate it. He kept sitting down, lean up, grab the remote, turn it on, sit back, look to the left.
Nah, cause just think about that, bro. Like, first and foremost, you already, you know what I'm saying, you already mad because you just had one of the most rare experiences in man history, and then it got ruined. You go downstairs, you like, man, I gotta clear my motherfucking head because I just seen some bullshit. I don't know what's going on. Sit down, you about to turn on Sports Center, you just happen to look over and it's just a dead motherfucker looking at you. Yeah, man, I felt him on that. I'm with him, nigga. What was that?
Yeah, that's yeah. That is a terrible. That is a great night. Just got that. That might be the biggest 180 you can get in a
Absolutely.
in less than 5 minutes. That's
Absolutely.
one of the worst 180s you can get.
I agree.
So I just thought that it was funny watching him trying to reduplicate that. That shit
Mhm.
was funny to me. But what made me mad about Maddie, I mean not Maddie, but Maggie, is the fact that she had the conversation with Neil. She seen everything that he was saying because like he was having conversations with Maggie,
Mhm.
telling her the things that he's seeing.
Right.
Right? She see that he's is completely obsessed with this shit. So when he goes over to Lisa, it was like, yo, look, whatever you did to me, like I need you to you know what I'm saying, to redo it because like this shit is like taking over my life, blase, blase. So she tried to hypnotize him again, do the whole thing. He's like, yo, like somebody's in here. She was like, no, nobody's in here. He was like, no, like I'm telling you, somebody's here. And she was like, you know what I'm saying, fuck all that. Look at the screen. What did the screen say? And the screen say dig.
Mm-hmm.
So from what Neil said and what Lisa told Maggie, Maggie knows, like he's obsessed with this, and Neil
Yeah.
said he's not gonna stop
No.
until he fixes it or solves it.
Right.
Why are you coming out here bitching at this man because he did it?
She was a piece of shit for that.
All at this point, all he can think about is dig.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what though. I got to give both of them the blame for this scene. She's a piece of shit because she was supposed to be supporting her husband, and you know what I'm saying, making sure he was good, having his back. That nigga Tom was a piece of shit because he had my man Jake out there digging with him.
Hey, Jake was a ride or die though, man.
Man, leave Jake the fuck alone.
Hey, no, remember when Maggie was talking to her sister Lisa, she was like, "Yo, they be having these secret conversations. I walk in and they get quiet.
Mm-hmm.
They was connecting, man. You know
Nah,
what I'm saying? They
yeah,
was on the same page. They was on some next level shit that Maggie didn't know anything about.
nah, for sure. I'm gonna tell you what was even crazier. So remember the scene where Jake, you know what I'm saying, my nigga sitting down on the bed watching the mummy old ass mummy movie on that, you know what I'm saying, little ass TV. And you know what I'm saying, Maggie come in hating, you can't watch this, you gonna have nightmares, blah blah blah. And you know what I'm saying, she changed the channel. I just want to know what the fuck was going on in 1999 where they had all these old ass TV programs just playing late at night.
Hey, the funny thing about like movies from the 90s, they always show like old ass movies. If you think
But
about it.
yeah.
Think about Juice. Look at that
Mhm.
old gangster movie they was watching in that. It's like they're always watching like movies from like the 30s and 40s and shit.
And then the kids TV show he was watching, I don't know what the fuck that was. That shit was trash. Bullshit. He was with it though, but she had my man watching some bullshit. Um, and also he was a rude ass little kid too. You know what I'm saying? Like the way he was talking to his mom after she told him to change that channel, and he kept talking back. I wasn't with that. You know what I'm saying? As a parent, I felt like she should have smacked the shit out this little nigga. Well, never mind. Now that I think about the idea, but she damn sure should have chastised him though. But she ain't do none of that, man. Also, what the fuck is her name, man? Catherine Erb. She is. What else did she play in? She was in
I know her from Law and Order, man.
Yeah, she was in Law and Order. She was also in the Mighty Ducks D2, where they went to the Olympics. She was Michelle. Yo, I appreciated her in this one, man. You know what I'm saying? She was getting naked a lot in this joint.
She was, you know what I'm saying? She had the sex scene, she got in the tub
Yeah.
when the dead girl was in the tub and
No,
she made the water freezing.
yeah, that's crazy because how do you not realize the steam is gone from off the water?
Well, I mean, at the same time though, you set the temp, you know what it's supposed to be when you get in, and then all of a sudden that shit just freezing cold in a matter of seconds.
Well, it took her.
Like
It was. I mean, it was a matter of seconds, but it took her a minute to even realize that the water was cold because she put like her whole fucking foot in there. And she was like, "Oh, it's cold, ma'am." Now, this is the thing though. She went down there to tell him that the pilot light needed to be lit. But I don't know if you paid attention to this. She put her hand in the water before she cut the water off.
Yeah, and the dead girl wasn't in there yet.
I know, no, that's what I'm saying. But she put her hand in the water before she cut the water out.
Exactly.
What made
Yeah,
you not
yeah,
curious as to why this water just went ice cold out of the blue? Because you
yeah.
literally touched the water before you turn this shit off.
Man, look, man, the shock of the cold water, man, it just went to her brain, man. She was just like,
Yeah.
yo,
Maggie
had to
was
be the
Maggie
pilot.
was my least um my least heralded character in this whole movie.
Well, look,
She was a piece of shit.
she was hot and cold for me because the one scene, man. You know what I
Well, yeah,
mean?
of course.
2 o'clock in the morning, like
Yeah.
that made her my favorite person in the world. And then all of a sudden she fucking flipped the script on me.
Yeah, she definitely get points for that. But it's like
Maggie was bipolar, man.
yeah, she at the bottom of the totem pole. Next is her sister. Because
I
her
love her
sister's a
sister.
fucking hater. Lisa's a fucking hater.
I love Lisa.
Nah, she's a fucking hater, bro. First and foremost, why you tell that man that she was pregnant like that? Like, why can't you let her? You know what I'm saying? He already don't fuck with you. Then here you go starting shit and telling this man that he about to have another kid on the way in the worst fucking time possible to tell him, and she do that. I don't fuck with her, man. She's trash too. You know they sisters.
Yo, that is hilarious.
They trash.
I just no, I fuck with the actress, man. She's been in some shit that I fuck with. She was in Goodfellas.
No,
Um,
yeah, Ileana Douglas she has some joints for sure,
yeah,
and that
yeah. I mean, yeah. So that's
makes
why I said that. That's why I said that. I said that because like I fuck with her as an actress, but
yeah.
no, I mean I think her character was yeah. I mean that part was bullshit, like because it was apparent very quickly that Tom didn't know she was pregnant, and
Right.
she kept going. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Telling him that he should be happy and all this type of shit. Like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? Pump the brakes, like, chill out, like.
Right.
So, and then knew how many weeks she was and all of that. So that part was bullshit. But I think when she did the whole hypnotizing shit and saying that, yo, I've always said you've been uptight and you need to loosen up and and all that type shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the other scene when they was in there was like a block party going on.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just saying, yo, I know I talk a lot of shit, but she was like, y'all like the best couple that I know. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So like, y'all need to fix this shit or whatever the case may be. So I think Lisa was, I mean, I fuck with Lisa. Like that one part was dirty. But I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, you could tell they sisters, but that's funny though, because no, what's
No,
funny is something just got popped up in my mind. No, it just when cause I'm still tripping off the one scene because I didn't think of it when she did touch the water and the water was good, and then she put her foot in it and said it's freezing cold. Go check the pot. It's like,
and not to mention she's a lazy sack of shit. She stood in the doorway to try to get this nigga's attention, seeing that he got headphones on, trying to get this man. Just go over there and say something to the nigga.
man, she didn't
Don't-
want to she didn't want to put a towel on, man.
She had clothes on.
Oh, she had clothes on that point.
Remember when she came down there, she had the little spaghetti strap shirt with the pajama
Oh,
pants.
that's
She kept saying, hey, this nigga looking through CDs. He's not paying you no fucking attention, lady. He got headphones on. And he got these headphones on, the studio joints. He ain't listening to what the fuck she talk about, man. She's a piece of shit, bro. I
I
don't know. She
mean,
might be the worst. She might be one of the worst movie characters ever.
okay, I'm not gonna go that far. I'm not gonna go that far because she look, man, one scene she gets a lot of points for me. Like for me, like that
Yeah,
that
she
that
does,
made
but
me feel away. That made me
she,
feel away. I was mad. I was mad at life.
I'm
But
with you.
but like I wouldn't say she's one of the worst movie characters. I just hated like her when she talked to Neil. Everything that Neil was saying was making so much sense.
Right.
And for her to just throw all of that shit out the window when he was just saying like, "Yo, all I know right now is to dig." Like
Mm-hmm.
and he told her whatever he is seeing, the flashes that he's seeing, is only going to get worse until he figure out what the issue is. Like
Right.
he's not going to stop.
He
And
ain't
for
trying to
her,
consider nothing.
yeah, and then she tried to guilt trip my man when she found out about her grandma. And then he already knew.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying, I'm sorry. Well, he said something about she's already gone when she was reading the note, and then the phone rang, and then he had to look. And so he
Mm-hmm.
just went outside. And so then she comes outside crying. He hug her and shit. And then she was like, okay, I gotta go to my mom. He's like, yo, like I can't go. And then she tried to guilt trip my man. And it's like, yo, he hasn't been to work in weeks. You
Mm-hmm.
said he won't leave the couch. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where he saw the dead girl.
Yeah.
Neil told you that this was going to be an obsession type of thing, and it's not going to stop until you figure it out. And you think that this man is going to leave to go to his in-laws because the grandma died?
That's the
Now,
last. I know if
yeah.
he don't fuck with Lisa, he damn sure don't fuck with the mom.
I just feel like, yeah, I understand regular life, you know what I'm saying, regular human moments. Yeah, you leave to go to the in-laws. But we're talking about a situation, a supernatural situation that's going on, and this man is obsessed with something. And I just
Mm-hmm.
hated the way she reacted to it. I felt like what Neil said made perfect sense. And you seen everything that he was going through and your son. And then she didn't even catch the moment when the son was sitting there eating cereal, and she's trying to find a fucking babysitter. And Samantha says to call such and such. And she was like, "Oh yeah, that girl," the girl never baby sit for her, but you had her number just in your head. Now
Yeah.
I know in the '90s, yeah, that was just something that we did. We remembered phone numbers,
Mm-hmm.
but how did you even know this bitch number? Because when they went to the tr- uh, train or bus station, whichever one it was, when
Mm-hmm.
they went there, she thought that she was trying to steal her son
Mm-hmm.
because the whole scene of he said that first of all, how did you know the Samantha he was talking about your fucking sister Samantha? That's number one. Samantha could have been anybody,
Yeah.
but he says I talk to Samantha all the time. She immediately says you're talking to my sister. I'm snatching your little ass up and I'm taking you to my mom. But at the time of the movie, you don't know that her mom works at the fucking bus station or whatever. So when they're there, she's looking like she don't know who the mom. She
Mm-hmm.
they didn't interact with each other like she knew the mom. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that because how do you just know the phone number?
Trash character. I told you she's horrible. She's fucking horrible. So it gets interesting after she talks to Neil and Tom goes to talk to Lisa, because after the dig he was just obsessed with digging. He's trying to figure out where the fuck am I supposed to be digging. And he realizes that in the basement there's this makeshift stone area, like stone pillar thing. And he starts getting the vibe from it, like something ain't right about it. So he crashes into it, knock it down, and he realizes that there's a whole dead body in there, wrapped in plastic. And in the plastic, after he opens it up, he realizes that it's the girl that he's seeing in his visions. And then he touches the hand of the girl, and then he actually gets the chance to see what happened and how she died. Now, this is a wild ass uh scenario, first and foremost, because this girl just so happens to be walking down the street. And in the midst of her walking down the street, just a random ass nigga is literally on the porch of a bando, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? What you doing? And she like, what? He like, I can't hear you. So she walks up to him. He like, yeah, come in. We're having a party. She walks in. There's no party going on. There's just two dudes in there drinking, playing music. Red flag number one. Really red flag number two, because the first red flag is why is this nigga in this abandoned house? Um, Third red flag is he asked her, do you want to drink? She said, we're not supposed to. And I don't know how the conversation shifted from that to, you know what I'm saying, him kissing her or her
She
saying you
said something about you. She said something about she can't do that, but she like, you can kiss me if you want.
yeah, see, that's weird. That's real weird. Cause
Well,
how
they said that
how
she was a little slow.
and that's cool. I'm just saying, how do you go from I don't drink, but you could kiss me? What? This ain't no bar, bitch. What are we talking about? Usually a motherfucker is 5 shots in before they even get to talking like that. You sober. You already in this house with these two dudes, you know what I'm saying? You ain't even supposed to be in. You ain't asking no, you know what I'm saying, critical questions. How did y'all get in this house? Why is this house empty? Where are the windows in this house? You know what I'm saying? Because there wasn't no windows in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Whose house is this? You ain't asking no type of questions. You just in there. Um, and you know, she tried to kiss dude. Dude tried to get a little too frisky. She like, nah, you taking it too far, my man. Back off. Stranger danger. You know what I'm saying? And he like, nah, this mine. And you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, um, he decided to have a sexual encounter with this young lady by force. And to me, this is the worst part of the movie because you know, what I'm saying, of course, they didn't necessarily show it, but it was a heavy insinuation. And his buddy just sitting there, you know, just watching it. Now, you know what I'm saying? I don't have many friends, but one thing my friends won't sit back and watch is a woman being abused. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just not cool. Um, if we see a chick, you know what I'm saying, arguing with her boyfriend up and down the street, you know what I'm saying, as long as he don't put his hands on her, we won't intervene. You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of, you know what I'm saying, that's the type of dudes I hang around. That's the type of dudes you know what I'm saying, that I'm around, that I like to, you know what I'm saying, that circle myself with. I'm that type of dude myself. So to see this happen is kind of, you know what I'm saying, like bullshit because, you know, his friend is just sitting there not doing nothing. And, you know, she trying to stop it. She fighting back as much as she can, which I'm glad they at least, you know what I'm saying, let her fight back. Cause if she wouldn't have fought back, that would have been crazy. Um, she fell and somehow lost her tooth. I mean, I've seen her fall and hit her head, but I didn't assume that she fell on her mouth because like her lip wasn't really busted. But she lost her tooth. Um, and she tried to crawl away, and she tried to crawl so much, you know what I'm saying, so hard that her pinky nail came off. And then you know what I'm saying, that happened, and then she starts screaming and hollering, and the friend like, yo, you know, you got to stop her from screaming. He like, yo, turn the music up, which was crazy, by the way, because the song they was listening to is super crazy too. I don't know why they even had that CD playing. And then they smothered her with a plastic bag, and she died. Now the interesting part to me is that we later find out at the end of the movie is that their parents knew of this. So all of this is just really a cover up. And uh the friend in the situation, not the one who was actually doing the sexual assault, but the friend tried to commit suicide. You know what I'm saying? He tried to take himself out because, you know, of the guilt that he was feeling, which is I've never felt that type of guilt for something like that, but I can imagine, you know, how you feel just standing by watching your friend take a woman's innocence that way. Um so this scene, man, what did you think of this scene? Like how did you feel watching this and then them seeing them finally reveal what actually happened and why all of this is really going on.
Um, it was a terrible scene, man. Especially when we found out that she was a little slow because there was a whole scene where they were at the block party, whatever you want to call it thing, and the dude kept calling her the R word. And he was like, "Yo, like we don't say that no more. Like chill." And he just kept doing it. He was like, "Man, she was a she was a retard." And so like the
Right.
dude like got in his face, and we didn't understand why this character kept going this hard. And then we found out at the end because he was one of the people who knew what actually happened to her, or whatever. But
Yeah. He was there.
yeah, I mean he was the one who helped, and the other guy, he was the one who actually was renovating the house.
Right.
So he come up with the plan to just putting her in a wall and putting up a whole little separate wall or whatever, and to cover up the smell and all that type stuff. But
Mhm.
it was a tough scene to watch. It wasn't an accident. I mean, yeah, but like, come on, but you got to be smarter than that. Like,
And
why
no way.
why cover her up with a fucking plastic bag? And then
Yeah.
the other boy, like, come on, man, you're not you're not stupid. Like you said, just stand back and watch that. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? That's silly. And then for them to cover it up the way they did, but then at the same time, I understand it probably was a panic situation, but you leave, you don't check her hands and see that she got your fucking hair in her hand. And y'all put her in the wall with hair in her hand.
Yeah.
Like nobody thought that was odd,
And the
but
crazy part is like these niggas is adults doing this shit. Y'all niggas know it's a whole body out here. And y'all niggas ain't think to maybe set it up to where y'all could blame it on somebody or a phantom person or call the police and be like, hey man, I'm coming in the house to work on it and I just found this body here. Like y'all didn't think to do none of that shit. Y'all niggas just panicked and was like, wrap her up and throw her in the wall. That's crazy.
and then to know that this is an active case of a missing girl.
Right.
And I understand like you're trying to save your kids, but like especially today's age, you know, there's a lot of therapy talk, mental health, you know, things in that realm of like these boys are gonna have trauma. That's something that yeah, y'all may think that y'all saving their lives by not, getting them arrested for this crime that they did.
Right.
But to sit there and try to cover it up, as you saw, the one kid shot himself because the guilt of
Mhm.
like, what he did. I don't remember how much time. I think it was a year. I forgot how much time they said went by. I think it was like a year though. The way her body was, she was starting to disintegrate a little bit. But
Yeah.
like, but yeah,
No,
like the boy,
it was 6 months.
it was 6 months. Okay,
Yeah, remember
so
when what is his name? Hold on, let me find his name real quick. When Frank, when he was talking to Frank in the basement, remember? And Frank was like, I've been holding on to this shit for 6 months.
that's right. That's
You
right.
know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. But yeah, and the boy, I mean, come on, man, he cracked, and I don't blame him for cracking
Right.
because I'm thinking that these kids was like 16, 17 years old, and to accidentally murder someone, and I don't mean no disrespect when I say that. I just don't think that when they smothered her, that they was, it wasn't premeditated. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, like the one boy couldn't take it, and the setup. I like the setup. I thought that they did really good with the setup. Like for instance, when he was getting little signs. So you remember when
Mhm.
he woke up one day, went to the bathroom, got something to drink, and then saw it was blood on the cup, and then he pulled a tooth out, looked back down, looked back up, his tooth was there. And like you said, when she fell, she hit a tooth and not one of her tooth out or teeth
Right.
out. So then the whole situation of him waking up, um, seeing one shoe end up being under the couch,
Mhm.
and then he sees the male person with the dog, and then he keep going down the street, and then he went into the house, and the boy was like, "Yo, I got something," and then he shoots himself. So then it wakes up, and all of that shit happens all over again. And so I like the way that they set a lot of this shit up. Like I think that we haven't spoken about this, but this is based on a book. So the writing of this movie is, basically from a book, but the writing is great. I love the way that they set a lot of this shit up. I think they did a really, really, really good job with the writing and also playing this movie out the way that they did. I thought they did a phenomenal job with that.
Well, yeah, because you don't. The thing is, right, is you expecting him to come into contact with this spirit and then eventually, you know what I'm saying, like solving it and setting the spirit free. You have no idea that the whole time this shit is a cover up. I appreciate that for sure. Um Twists and turns, some of my that's my favorite part of movies. If you can throw a good twist or a turn in there, man, like you got me. You definitely got me. Um but to see that, you know what I'm saying, Frank came in and made him get out. They went down to the basement. Frank kind of confessed everything, and then he's like, "Get out the basement." He brought his gun with him. He like, "Get out the basement," and then he thought that. Well, everybody kind of did. Excuse me. Everybody thinking that Frank ends up killing himself. Because we hear a gunshot, and
Yep.
then after Frank is assumed to be dead, I forgot the other guy's name, but he just randomly comes to the door with his son, and you know they talking about the house and all this other shit, and we find out that he's getting, he renting the house from him and everything else, and only to then find out that they just really came up there pretty much just off this nigga.
Yeah.
Only for Frank to pretty much end up saving the day. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy because like Frank, of course, is in a weird way an accessory to all this shit. But I think in that moment he possibly could have found a way to set himself free.
In his own way, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
Because of
think the guilt started to ride at him. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Because I think that's why I say like we saw how the trauma affected a teenager and we saw how the trauma affected a grown up. And
Mm-hmm.
then we also saw the other parents who were like, yo, I'm gonna do anything I can to protect my boy. And the
Right.
boy is even like, yo, like I'm gonna do whatever I can so I don't get locked up. So, we seen it happen with, you got three families
Mm-hmm.
and we see one that's gonna ride it out to the end, and we see one where the guilt, took over to where they was like, yo, like what we did was wrong. And we
Exactly.
need to we need to make a right with the wrong decision that we made. Yeah, it
Right.
was an accident, but at the same time, somebody still lost their life. Somebody else that live in the same fucking neighborhood as us,
Mm-hmm.
they're missing a daughter and a, what I'm
Exactly.
saying, and a sister and all this type shit, and we know where they are, and we sitting here acting like she's just missing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Frank, like I said, we just seen that trauma from a traumatic situation take over to where they was like, yo, like I can't do this shit anymore. I can't sit here and pretend
Mm-hmm.
because that girl didn't do anything wrong, and we got two teenage boys who, made a mistake. But that's like I say, that's what you try to tell your kids, man. Be like, anytime you find yourself in a sketchy situation, like man, like really, really think about what you're doing because every fucking decision is crucial.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about a life changing decision, you know what I'm saying, really over some bullshit. And they really took advantage of a girl who may have been, what I'm saying, a little, on the, let's just say a little on the spectrum. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You took advantage of a girl that was a little on the spectrum. She probably wasn't getting a lot of attention from boys. And then like this one instance where these boys are like, yo, like you want to come hang with us? She's like,
Mm-hmm.
damn, like boys never talk to me.
Yeah,
You know
she
what I
definitely
mean?
from no boys. I could tell by her coat.
Man, come on, man. Why you do that girl coat like that, man? What was wrong with her orange coat, man?
Corny ass coat on, man.
Man, it was
Girl,
cold.
I know it was, but girls in them coats, they don't get no attention. She too covered up. Man, you ain't go after the girl who always didn't, you know what I'm saying, who ain't show nothing. Like,
Hey.
think about all the girls. Well, I'm trying to. It get cold down there. Think about all the girls in your school that had them big ass coats. They ain't really get the same love that the one girl with the little ass jacket got when it was cold. Man, you know that.
Yo, listen, it's funny you say that because obviously, you know, I went to college in West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And my guy, when I tell you, is in the middle of the winter
Mm-hmm.
and this girl's out here with skirts on, going to the club. I'm sitting here, my ass, being from South Carolina, I'm in the club. I got long johns under my jeans.
Mm-hmm.
And these girls is out here with skirts on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yo, yeah. Some people just built different. You know what I mean?
Listen, up here they don't wear nothing but leggings.
Yo, listen, it's too cold for that. I can't remember. I think they had to be like, I think they was like PA or New Jersey or something like that. I don't know
I
exactly what this
was
movie
around
was based at.
definitely in upper East America.
Yeah, they was definitely Upper East. Let's see if I can see where this movie was
I thought they were
filmed at.
from
Oh
Buffalo.
no, Chicago. They was filmed in Illinois.
They was in Chicago. Oh man, yeah, nah. They definitely won't fuck with her with that motherfucking coat on. Cause first
Yeah,
off,
you
that's the
stupid.
wrong coat to have in Chicago. You need like a wool coat in Chicago.
Man, leave
So
that girl alone, man. Nah,
yeah,
I
man,
just
she had that corny ass coat on, and she had the glasses and shit. Like in the '90s, man, that shit wasn't hot. You know what I'm saying?
listen.
She was an attractive girl. Don't get me wrong, but if she'd have took all that shit off and just had some regular
See,
shit on, it'd have been cool.
man, look, I hear you, my guy. I'm hear you. But like, there's some people like me. Like, I got a thing for motherfucking glasses. Like, I like
Mhm.
girls with glasses. You know what
Is
I'm saying?
this something that you've always had, or is this something that like developed over time?
No, I think it's something that I might have like. I don't know. You know, that's a good question. I don't know if I developed it over time or if
How
it's
many
something. I think it. No, honestly, I think it's something that I probably always liked.
how many girls did you talk to in high school with glasses, or even looked at? Can you even remember a chick with glasses from? That's my point.
Yeah, man, I can't. You want to know? That's why I always fuck with Tina Fey, man.
Respect.
I always
But
fuck with Tina Fey.
Tina Fey look good though. Like she's not
I
a
mean, yeah,
she's
I
not a
mean, she look.
glasses make
She
her look good.
see that's what I mean. That's all I mean. Because
That's
I've
something
seen her. Yeah,
that's something I developed as I got older though. Like because of the whole hot librarian thing. Yeah, like that's something I developed early on in life. Like for instance, like Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin is a very attractive woman. Like you got to give her credit for that. She was
yeah.
an attractive woman. She take them glasses off though. She just
Yo, that's
she
so
go
funny.
from she go from a solid 7 to like a 5 instantly without them
Yo,
glasses.
yo, we are on the same page, my guy.
Come on, man.
I'm talking about the exact same page. I feel
Come
the
on.
exact same way. That is a great fucking point. You
You know
took
what I'm
that
saying?
shit right out of my fucking mouth.
The older
So
you get, that type of shit gets attractive. When the younger you are, glasses is corny as fuck. If a girl with glasses came to you in high school and tried to talk to you, you'd probably stiff arm her. I know a girl in high school who wore glasses, right? Throughout our whole time in high school, I never seen her with a boy. I never even heard a nigga. She was an attractive young lady. Like nothing was wrong with her, but she had glasses.
Hey, boy, you stupid
As
as
a
fuck,
as a
boy.
kid, bro, just something about wearing. Well, I don't know about now because now it's different. Like now they might be into that, but like when we was kids in high school, bro, like glasses was not the thing. I tell you what else too. The frames of the glasses wasn't as attractive as they are now. Because I think like now they got like thinner frames. You know what I'm saying? Like slender, more slender looks. They more fashionable. Like back in
Yeah,
the day, if you had glasses, like you had the Clark Kent joints.
yeah, it's definitely different now because like back, I think what it is, I think the frames got more advanced
Mhm.
and you got better frames than you had back then. So yeah, a girl could look more corny back in the day because of glasses because the frame selection wasn't as large as it is now. Because remember, we
Exactly.
went through a whole thing, what, about a decade ago, where motherfucker was wearing frames with no lenses. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like that whole thing. So I just think
Um,
it got to a point where they was making at least frames of glasses fashionable. So
yeah,
glasses could be fashionable now. And see, even the frame that she had on, yeah, it made her look more corny. So she
absolutely.
is on the spectrum, and you mentioned the jacket,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
she's wearing the glass, and then the glasses hung low. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was kind of like, yeah, like so nobody fucked with her. So she's getting attention from these boys,
When she took them
and
glasses, she was alright.
yeah, and I think that the reason why it went from, I don't drink to you can kiss me if you want to. I
Mhm.
think that she just never really been with a boy before, and she just was like, yo, like this is my chance, like
Well, yeah,
you know.
because not just not even that. Like I can imagine her being like mentally, you know what I'm saying, disabled. Well, I don't want to say disabled because that's not the right word. What is it? Mentally,
Mentally challenged. I mean,
yeah, that's a better one. Mentally challenged. Her being mentally challenged. Um, you know what I'm saying? Like I can imagine like nobody really is like, especially in the 90s, nobody was cool with her for real. As a
yeah.
girl, nobody was cool with her for real.
Look, and look, I completely agree, and I think that her thing was like nobody really showed me attention, and then I think her hormones was going crazy, and like nobody ever showed you any attention. So then all of a sudden they did, but I think that once it got uncomfortable for her, and
Yeah.
so she was like, "Yo, like chill,"
Yeah,
and
it, you,
so
it gotta be uncomfortable. This nigga, you supposed to just be getting, you know what I'm saying, like a fantasy kiss, you know what I'm saying, like your first kiss, and then this nigga get the groping all on you and roughhousing you. Yeah.
yeah, so
That's
I don't. Yeah,
different.
so I don't. First of all, I wouldn't victim blame anyway, but like it's definitely
Oh,
wasn't
no,
her
yeah.
fault.
None of
Yeah,
that was her
yeah, none of that was her fault, and I think that with what this movie has shown us, I think it's a multitude of things. Like you got the whole factor of a mentally challenged girl who ended up getting murdered over some bullshit. You got a man who, from what I think Lisa, yeah, from what Lisa said, it's only 8% of people who can actually go in as deep as they can as far as being hypnotized. And then you got Jake who already has that vision
Mhm.
but don't know necessarily what to do with it. But he also don't think it's weird because, like you said, a kid's imagination is different at that age. You know what I'm
And then
saying?
he been trying to tell their ass the whole time.
Yeah, he been probably since they moved in that house.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
Samantha, probably he probably seen Samantha the very first time they moved in the house.
or probably before that.
Well, they couldn't have been in the house, but for like 6 months, they probably,
Maybe maybe a little bit less than that.
yeah, maybe a little bit less because they had to, get her in there and all
Mhm.
that type shit. And then when the shit happened, like you said, it wasn't even no windows in the house yet.
Right.
So yeah, so they probably was in the house for like 5 months, and like he's probably going in there. And like I said before, before we wrap it up, this movie, and Same fucking year, dude. The Sixth Sense came out 99 too.
Mm-hmm.
This and the Sixth Sense, in a way, kind of parallels each other. In a
Mm-hmm.
way of the fact of there is a little kid who can actually see ghosts, and all these ghosts want is for basically something to get either solved or
Some type of justice.
and they just want some help. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? When you look at the Sixth Sense, the very first person that he helped was the girl that was throwing up and shit, and she just wanted, for him to go get that tape and show. You know what I'm saying? Her dad, like, the reason I got sick and the reason I died is because this bitch was putting fucking pine sol in my fucking soup and telling
Mm-hmm.
me, don't tell me it tastes weird. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So in this movie, it's just the fact of, like, this girl is like, yo, like, I am in y'all basement, you know what I'm saying, with a piece of hair in my hand of the
Yeah.
DNA of the people, well, at least the person that killed me, like, help me, like, this, so this can finally, what I'm saying, I guess, release my soul or whatever the case may be. So
What's
this
even
movie has a lot of different factors in it.
no, for sure. What's even crazier is Frank killed both of them niggas. And them two little young punks killed that girl. Um, how many times did you see the police in this movie?
Only at the funeral.
Yeah.
That was the only time.
They need that
Oh,
police officer from Silver Linings Playbook.
yo.
That that case would have been solved. That nigga was always on that case would have been solved, bro. I
Hey.
ain't no these motherfuckers never dealt with the police, bro. That's some crazy shit.
Hey. You.
I'm just saying they never dealt with the police in this movie, bro. Like all the shit that these motherfuckers went through, like, nigga, it was an ongoing investigation. Who was investigating?
Yo.
We don't know nothing about this. We don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy, bro.
Hey, the reason it's so funny, people, if you've never heard the Silver Lining Playbook episode, the one cop was everywhere all the time.
Nigga was always on duty, bro. That nigga ain't had no life. All he did was
Man,
just cop work 24/7.
man, 24/7. He popped up in the daytime. He popped up in the evening. He popped up at fucking 12 o'clock at night till
He
2 o'clock in the morning. Like, it was always him.
in that town, bro. It wasn't
Oh
another
man,
cop in that motherfucker, man.
hey, that's funny.
But no, like even when Frank's son, you know what I'm saying, tried to kill himself. Like I don't I don't remember cops like coming to talk to them or none of that shit.
Nah, I really only remember the ambulance and like fire trucks being there. I don't even really remember
Right,
any
huh?
cops really.
That's crazy. Motherfuckers police themselves in neighborhood watch. It's fucking all right, man. Let's go ahead and move on, man. We got to get into it, man. Let's get into the fire flames.
Let's do it.
Yoga fire. Yoga flame.
All right, bro. I'm gonna take this one. Like I said, man, the premise of this movie was great. I definitely enjoyed that. The story was actually very, very good, especially watching it like now, in modern time. Like that is a great, great story to be able to, you know what I'm saying, pretty much be hunted by this murder that happened in the house you live in, and you know what I'm saying, finding a way to pretty much get justice for this young girl who lost her life. I thought that was a good story the way it was put together. And the acting, man, the acting is pretty good. Only thing that I really got beef with is Kevin Bacon, because it's like he's like I'm trying to think. He's the bad version of like Denzel Washington.
Yo, that is hilarious.
Like, every role Denzel play, he's Denzel. Or like the bad version of Samuel Jackson. Like every role that they played, they're literally themselves just with a different name. This nigga is literally himself with a different name, but in the worst possible way. Kevin Bacon is a atrocious actor, bro. I'm sorry. Not a fan of Kevin Bacon's acting. Like, even remember when he had that TV show on Fox?
Yo, the following.
Yeah, same person, bro.
Yo, that's one of the most slept on shows. I'm sorry.
I'm
I fucking
sure,
love the following.
but
But okay,
but
sorry.
Kevin Bacon was Kevin Bacon in that show. That's
Kevin
what I'm saying.
Bacon was Kevin Bacon in Hollow, man. Like that's just him.
All that shit, bro. Like he's always like this pompous ass prick ass dude, bro. So yeah, that's my only thing, man. Outside of that though, man, like I said, good movie. Um, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 4, and the only reason because I want to go 3.5, but the only reason I'm going 4 was, what I'm saying, because Maggie pulled that move. But outside of that, yeah, it's a 3.5. Without that scene, it's a 3.5 for sure. But I'm going 4.
Okay. Another one, like I said, man. Another one from 1999. I love the premise of this movie. I love a lot of the things that they covered. They went over a lot of stuff, and the wild part is they were talking about cancel culture beforehand. Like when they was doing the whole, the retard scene. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we don't say that word today. Like they started that like a decade ago. You know what I'm saying? 8 years ago or something. And they were talking about this in '99. So, but nah, man, I hear what you're saying about Kevin Bacon. He also had a dope show, but like I said, he was a douchebag in that too. City on the Hill. Um,
I never seen it.
but man, good show. Showtime. Got Aldous Hodge in it.
Okay,
Good show.
okay.
Um, but I'm gonna go a notch above you, man. I'm gonna go a 4.5. Um,
Okay.
like I said, this is just a movie that I seen a long time ago. I always rocked with it. I always thought it was really dope. Anytime you could get into a lot of that mind stuff, brain stuff, it interests me. And I thought that the way that they went about it, I thought the most underrated person in this film was Neil. You know what I'm saying? The cop, the black cop, because I think that his importance of explaining to the people what Tom was going through, and he's telling the wife, and also knowing that Jake has the same thing that he has, because I'm thinking what he was is like he is like what the older version of what Jake could be. I
Mm-hmm.
think that he was able to look at him and never met him before a day in his life, and he knew his name, and then Jake knew his name too. So I thought that was a very underrated scene in this movie that a lot of people probably slept on, and I think Neil is a bigger character than people give him because he wasn't on the screen, but maybe 4 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I thought he was very very important, man. But I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
Cool, man. That's what's up. So moving on from that, what the hell? Moving on from that, man, let's go ahead and get into the coming soon.
Let's do it.
Coming soon to own on video and DVD.
I will let you take the lead on this one, my guy.
Man, listen. So we got a movie that's coming up. It had a little buzz at the time, but I think it's very, very slept on. We got a movie, what I'm saying? Jude Law, got Rooney Mara in it, Channing Tatum is in it, the beautiful Kathleen Zeta Jones. Listen, man, we talking about side effects, okay? Um, if if you never seen this movie, you know, it's called side effects because of a medication. I'm not gonna get, what I'm saying, deep into it. But let's just say it's a movie about a drug, side effects from a drug, and a murder. Let's just leave it there. And I think that it is a movie that is at the time like it had a buzz. It really did at the time. but I think the buzz went away pretty fast. But it is a really, I think that when you see this, I think you're gonna fuck with it. I think that when it comes to my recommendations, when you give me props for it, I think you might give me props on this one. Man. I think he's gonna fuck with side effects.
Okay. Yeah, man. You listen, you've been good from the field so far, man. So I definitely trust your judgment. Um, so you guys stay tuned for the next episode, man. Side effects is gonna be our next episode. Um, if you enjoyed this episode, if you liked Stir of Echoes, uh, if you yourself can interact with the spirit world, hit us up. Let us know on socials, Instagram and Twitter at View9Pod, Facebook VA Pod Watch Group. Join us on Twitter in our community, Viewers Anonymous, and also make sure that you join our subscription. Our subscription episodes, $2.99 a month. Don't miss out. We just did what was the last subscription episode?
Winning time.
Winning Time. That's right. Winning Time, episode 1. Episode 2 is coming soon. So if you are into Winning Time and you would like to hear us review it and talk about it, jump in. $2.99 a month. You will not be disappointed. We got so much more coming up, man. Man, the subscription episodes are really fun because we get to really hang loose and really do our thing and talk some shit, which I definitely appreciate. And if you'd like to follow me, hit me up on Twitter at Scoots Bronson. I got a link tree in my bio. You can find me everywhere else there.
And for me, y'all can find me at S.Foster8 on Instagram and on Twitter at 28 Minutes or Less Pod. That's just on IG. Follow the podcast, 28 Minutes or Less. Last episode was 132, which I entitled A Star is Born, man, where I featured my youngest son, Jacoby, his very first guest appearance on the podcast. I felt the podcast went really great. Let's go support the podcast, go listen to it, tell me what you think. But that's all I got, man. Oh,
Yes, man.
also, we're coming up on 300 episodes.
Yep.
Coming up on three.
On the
Like
way.
this episode right here is 297.
Yeah, we on the way, man. We on the way.
Sir.
Listen, make sure you guys definitely go support that episode, man. After you listen to it, retweet it, repost it, do whatever you can to get that out, man. Get as many ears on that episode as possible. Show some love to a young man who wants to, pursue some podcasting and he's getting creative and doing his own thing. So definitely please make sure you show love. Excuse me, and go listen to that episode. And also, man, make sure you get in that link description, and follow his podcast as well. Show him some love, man. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. Until the next episode. You know what they say in Hollywood. That's a wrap.
Cut.